We have made it halfway through the week. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome into the News 10 Plus desk. I'm Taylor Gattoni. We will have Claudia Sella up here very soon from Studio 10 to share what she has coming up and what Studio 10 is coming up at 3 o'clock today, which is, of course, coming up in less than an hour here. Excuse me, we were just a little wonky on this Wednesday, Colton. And we'll have Colton, of course, in just a little bit as well, but we want to talk to Studio 10, get them going for their show again starting at 3 o'clock. But we're going to reverse the order a little bit today. I'm actually going to start with what we have coming up during First at 4 and then our 90 minutes of news. So starting with First at 4, this is what you can expect. I'm wearing the red today because we're bringing in the Executive Director of the American Red Cross, Judy Harris, to talk about Red Cross Month, Red Cross Day, and the significance behind this day and being able to save lives. You've probably heard the many efforts behind the Red Cross and making sure that there are volunteers going out to damaged areas affected by storms and elsewhere, and taking care of the people, the residents in that area through volunteers, through financial donations, and really just taking the time to also save those lives through other things like a blood drive. So we're going to talk about all of those efforts and how you can help coming up today during Mid-Michigan Matters on First at 4. Coming up, News 10 at 5, with Nikki Haley and Dean Phillips ending their campaigns for president. We're likely to see a repeat of the 2020 presidential election with Donald Trump and Joe Biden facing off once again. Despite many saying that they don't like either candidate, our Riley Connell is looking into why are we seeing this and what is being done to bring in new politicians into the scene. Coming up, News 10 at 5:30, Owen Ozis will have a feature on a Holt native and freshman wrestler at MSU who has the number 9 seeding entering the Big Ten championship weekend, and whose 25 total wins is best for 5th in the country. So again, Owen Ozis will have that coming up, News 10 at 5:30. And then News 10 at 6. Today in Lansing, Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist visited with parents and staff at a childcare, or Garland Gilchrist second visited with parents and staff at a childcare center to highlight the budget proposals that will expand childcare and provide free pre-K for all. So our Capitol correspondent, Zachariah Wheaton, will have more on what this could mean to mid-Michigan families. Again, that is what's coming up during First at 4 in our 90 minutes of news. We will have our reporters here in just a second share what they have coming up during our 90 minutes of news. But for right now, we are switching up the order today. We've got Claudia Sella matching with the red.
We're like the same tone of red, too.
That's
this is
scary.
Wild.
Wow, I like that.
That's really cool. Well, it is a wacky Wednesday after all. Wacky Wednesday. But we're going to say it's like a women-themed Wednesday on the show today.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah, we've got Michigan Women Forward, and they're going to come in and talk to us all about Women's History Month, but mainly what they do to help women in the area move forward. And then we are also going to be, for our Work It Out Wednesday, we are going to be with the MSU Elite Dance Team as they prepare for college nationals. They are very good. And I was just actually watching, right before I came here, I was just watching videos of them, and oh, they're so good. You're not going to want to miss it. They are so talented. And I was a dancer as a kid, and just watching them, I'm like, yes, technique. They've got it down.
The punches, the form, the rhythm.
It's beautiful, too. And they're very graceful dancers. So I'm super excited to see that. Nicole will be live with them all throughout the hour. So we're going to hear about like how they're prepping for nationals. We're going to see some of their routine, a little sneak peek into that, and then we're going to hear from the coaches and the dancers themselves. So it's perfect for that. And also, we're talking about dental hygiene today. Now, I am terrified of the dentist. How do you feel about the dentist?
I don't care. I'm like, you know, fix whatever needs to be fixed. Hopefully there's no problems. I don't think, it's not the dentist I'm scared of seeing. It's that they're going to say, like, I have cavities or something, which I'm in the clear. I've been in the clear. But, you know, you're like, you brush your teeth. Flossing, I do need to be better about flossing.
That's it. And it's also the fear of the unknown. Just because I think I'm good doesn't mean I'm good. And I just hate the sound of drills.
I would say that's it. It's like intimidating. You're like, yes. There's a drill in my mouth.
Like, I'm fine with anything, but the drill, I just don't want to hear it. I don't like it. It reminds me of Finding Nemo, and it's just very scary. But
yeah, no, that and Finding Nemo makes the dentist look scary.
He's
obviously rooting for the fish, so you're like, the dentist.
And Darla, she's just...
Darla's a whole extra added layer to that.
I know. So that, I think that because of Finding Nemo, maybe that like made my fear of the dentist worse. But today, there's no fear, because no fear, we're gonna kind of debunk all the myths about dental hygiene, where it comes from. We're gonna talk about that. It's slightly disgusting, so you'll want to tune in for that.
Ooh, okay.
But yeah, we've got a really fun, different show today. Kind of women themed, kind of Wacky Wednesday themed, but we will see you at 3 p.m.
And also, I want to say whitening the teeth, but more hygiene, so
Yes.
somewhat along the same lines. Well, there you go.
Yeah, and I'd say that like when it comes to whitening the teeth, like you do have to do it safely, and we're gonna talk a little bit about that too.
Yeah, because there's different products out there, and I've heard some myths on some of them. I'm like, oh, let me not use that.
Yeah, I've actually really hurt my teeth from whitening before too. Right before senior pictures, I whitened them every day for a week. Don't do that. Never do that.
You have nice teeth.
So
they
thank
so
you.
they
You have
still
nice
look
teeth
great.
too.
Thanks.
Aw, well,
Dental hygiene. There you go.
dental hygiene. All right, but we will see you at 3 p.m.
Sounds good. Thank you, Claudia. Looking
Taylor.
forward to it. And you can catch Claudia and the rest of Studio 10 coming up at 3 o'clock today in just over 50 minutes here. So all you have to do, WILX Studio 10 is all you have to do if you want to participate in any of their fun interactive questions. Again, they give fun little shout outs at the end if you end up getting chosen for the answering the question. Also, I did have someone reach out to me earlier today talking about an interview segment and talking about their business, certain topics. And I told them, hey, you know, this sounds more like our lifestyle show, Studio 10. So I actually passed on their email, studio10@wilx.com. And if you're a business or someone who you know, wants to sponsor, get advertisement done with Studio 10, that is all you have to do. Reach out to their email, studio10@wilx.com. Real quick, I will give a live look outside over I-496. Colton is standing right next to me, and he's going to be talking about the cloud cover that we are seeing today, on top of the rain showers that we can expect toward the end of the week. So, Colton, what can we expect today?
Yeah, just there's wires over here that
know, I
I'm
was
just
watching
messing
you.
with. But it's good. It's good. You know, it's a Wednesday. It's my Monday. So how about that? And it is pretty quiet weather-wise today. You know, coming in and forecasting this morning.
Let's show that one more time.
Yeah, so this is a live look outside. So what we're seeing is it's been a battle all day long is to see some sunshine. And I still do think that as we move into the rest of the afternoon that we should see at least a few more breaks in the clouds. So if you wanted to get outside after work or school today, I think you should be able to do so. Even from this view from our US 127 sky cam in southern Clinton County, if you look at the right side of your screen, there's some of that blue sky finally starting to show up. So I am optimistic that we'll see some sunshine later today, but it has taken a while. But now one thing that has been really fighting us is the northeast wind. Anytime you have a northeast wind in mid-Michigan, it normally spells cool weather and cloudy weather, and that's because if you look what's off to the northeast, that's a big lake. Lake Huron is up that way, and anytime you get the the wind direction coming off of the lake, it's going to be cooler, and sometimes you get clouds from it. So it's just been kind of stubborn. Temperatures are only in the 30s and 40s right now. If we get out into some sunshine here within the next couple of hours, we'll likely warm up into the upper 40s. If not, we may stay kind of on the cool side. So either way you look at it, it is a bit cooler, but still temperatures above average. So average high today is 40, so we'll be slightly above that today in terms of our temperatures. There is that northeast wind. Hasn't been terribly strong, but it's been enough to be noticeable. 5 to 15 miles per hour out there at this time. Likely going to stay in this range throughout the rest of the day today. Even into tonight, we'll see some of this wind as well. But not terribly strong coming in from the northeast, and then it kind of falls down into the single digits overnight tonight. But northeast winds, forecasting in Michigan, anytime I see a northeast wind, I know it's not going to be very warm, and that's kind of what we've been seeing out there today, even though temperatures still are actually above average for this time of year. Just I'm saying cool in terms of where we have been as of late. And what's in the forecast too, because we will see some warmer air in the forecast as well. So there is the battleground in terms of the clouds, as we see the clouds kind of dividing the state from Lansing off to the east.
Oh yeah.
The cloudy skies, and then clear skies off to the northwest. So we're just missing out on some of the sunshine. There's a storm system that's just off to our east, bringing some rain for our friends in Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York. There you can see not going to bother us in terms of rainfall. However, we are just close enough to see some of those clouds from it, and those will likely continue throughout the next couple of hours. Maybe some more breaks in the clouds are possible moving forward here. But as we move beyond today, even beyond tomorrow, we are tracking our next storm system that's going to come in. This is going to bring us some rainfall. Some of our models were suggesting maybe some snow with this system as well. They've kind of backed off that a little bit. We'll keep an eye on that potential. I don't think
Okay.
it's all that great. I think this is a predominantly rainmaker for us, and it could be quite a bit of rainfall. We're talking rainfall totals probably around an inch in some spots, so that's a nice amount of rain.
Compared to the rain that we saw, what was that, yesterday? Wait. Yes, yesterday morning. Wow, this week feels like it's flying.
I know.
So I saw some large puddles on the drive-in that morning. Are we going to see anything like that?
So I think Lansing picked up, I'd have to go back and look, I think it was like 0.6 from that.
So more
than that.
Yeah, so prepare for it.
So luckily though, you know, when it comes to river flooding and things like that, that's always a concern this time of year. We've had no snow whatsoever, so we really don't have a huge issue for that seasonal snow melt to add on top of the rain to cause some flooding issues. We really don't have that issue this year. So I'm not expecting any flooding concerns from this, but still a nice amount of rain, maybe some water in your backyard, things like that, but nothing major from this. But it's really looking Friday afternoon into Saturday. So Friday morning should be dry, but once you get home from work and school, there's going to be the rain, and then that's going to continue into the first half of the day on Saturday. But the weekend is not a washout. Sunday will be dry, but it will be much colder on Sunday. So we'll talk about that in just a second as well. So let's briefly talk about the hour-by-hour forecast, showing some of that clearing that's possible later on this afternoon and into tonight. We'll see the clouds actually return, and that's out ahead of the next storm system that's going to come in heading into the day on Friday. Now, this will be kind of some of those higher wispy clouds, so I don't think it's completely cloudy tomorrow, but there will be some clouds around. So just kind of prepare for that. Temperatures will be in the 40s and 50s. You may still need the sunglasses if we have some of that higher cloud. It doesn't block all of the sun completely as we head into tomorrow, but then by the time we get into Friday, the morning's fine. So here's 8 o'clock.
Just cloudy.
Yeah, just cloudy. Temperatures in the 30s, pretty quiet, but then watch what happens as we get into the afternoon.
Oh, there it goes.
Yeah, there's some of that rain. And
that
then
looks like an army.
Yeah, and we're actually, I'll play this all the way to the end. We'll see some rain showers on and off Friday night into Saturday. So that's why we were talking about some of those more impressive rainfall totals possible with this one. So we'll keep an eye on it. It doesn't look anything major, but some decent amount of rain is going to be coming Friday night into Saturday. So that's the next time frame that we need to watch out for some impactful weather. I do want to show you the weekend forecast because it is going to be cooling down. 46 degrees Saturday, Sunday 39 for the high, a breezy day as well. That 39 may be a little bit optimistic. We'll see.
Well, and then our average temperature usually, what is that around?
It's 40.
40. Okay, so that on Sunday, there we go. Well, yeah, that will be colder than the average. Wow.
Yeah, and we have not seen too many days with below average temperatures.
At all.
Yeah, it's just
especially February.
It's just incredible, the warmth that we've seen. But Sunday may be a day that we're below normal in terms of high temperatures. But the big thing, too, this weekend, of course, daylight saving time begins, and that means that we change our clocks ahead 1 hour.
Well, that gives you time then Sunday, since it's cold outside, you can just catch up on sleep then. Okay, that's a good point.
I just remembered you lose an hour of sleep with this.
I know. So you'll make it up on Sunday when you're staying out of the cold.
You know what was the worst thing, too? I used to work the weekend morning shift, so both Saturday and Sunday, and it always was the hardest time because I remember I would set my alarm for 2 a.m. and that's when the clocks officially change. So I would have to set my alarm an hour earlier to compensate for the fact that I'm going to lose an hour once it jumps to 2. So, and then you're trying to think about it and your brain hurts, and then...
Well, I remember asking you last year when I was still on weekends, I was like, how does this work? What time do I need to be here?
Yeah, you have to account for a whole different hour. So if you have to be up early on Sunday, keep that in mind.
Yeah.
But I do also want to show you this because this is obviously the real world implications of what we're going to see from it. So our sunrise on Saturday, the earliest sunrise, 6:59 before 7 a.m. I've been enjoying. I love early sunrises.
It gets you up and ready.
Yeah, it gets you going, driving to work. It's light outside. I love it. But then on Sunday, the sunrise goes to 7:57. Sunset on Saturday is at 6:38, and then on Sunday, it's at 7:39. So those are some of the real world implications. But obviously, daylight saving time exists so that there's more daylight later in the day, so you don't use as much lights. That's why it was invented. That's why it's still around. So that's why our sunset does get much later on Sunday. But keep in mind, our daylight is gaining really quickly this time of year, a few minutes every single day. So that sunrise will start to catch back up to where we are as we march our way into spring, march our way into
the rest of March and into spring, yeah.
And into April, and then summer, and then everything's happy, and we're all good. So that's what we're working towards. But just don't forget to change your clocks. I know a lot of things are automated. I always forget, like my oven.
Oh,
and
yeah.
a microwave. Those are the ones that I always forget about.
Because those ones, you're so used to the cook time being on there that you always forget that you have the actual time.
Also, are you someone that doesn't change their times in their car?
Oh, no, I have to change it in the car. I'll freak myself out if I
I know
don't.
people that don't change the time in their car, and then they just wait for, either to spring forward or fall back, and then they go back to the normal time.
Absolutely not. If anything, change the car one and not the oven one.
I know.
That's how it should be.
At least your phone and stuff like that will do it automatically.
Oh, yeah, so
you
you're
don't have
fine.
to worry about it. But
If you need to double check, that's a good, go to your phone.
interesting times we live in. And everyone always thinks that Congress has taken action on this daylight saving. That hasn't been the case. It still exists.
That was like a little bit of a conversation, but yeah.
It is
then it
every
dropped.
single time. I guarantee the next couple of days you're going to hear some news reports about it. It happens every single time. I personally don't think it's ever going to change,
You
in my
seem
opinion.
passionate about this.
I don't dislike it as much as most people do. Like, it's really one day that we just have to get through the extra hour. I mean, an hour is not that ridiculous, right? It's how many times do you wake up an hour early? I don't know why I'm going off on this, but
You are heated.
I don't know. I personally like having later sunsets in the summertime. I
Those are
like
nice.
having the early sunrises.
Colton wants it all.
I want it all. I feel like this is as close to
agree.
as good as we can get. Especially where we live in the Eastern time zone, because we are in the western side of the Eastern time zone. So like we kind of luck out here with how it shapes up. I do feel bad for people that live in like Maine, like Eastern Maine. You're on the eastern side of the time zone, so your sunset is really early because
that's
of
tough.
that. But we don't live there.
We live in Michigan. Okay, we'll get back to this.
I apologize for that. But as we show you the forecast over the next 10 days, in terms of temperatures, we do go to the 50s tomorrow, middle 50s on Friday. Then there's that cool down as we head into Saturday and Sunday, especially Sunday. But then, it's like a broken record, really. Every time we get cold, it just doesn't stay cold, and we're going to warm right back up into the 50s and 60s next week. So the cold on Sunday, unfortunately, it's on a weekend, but it is just not going to last too long as we warm right back up into the 50s and 60s. I will say, too, looking at some of our longer range models, to me, it does look a little bit colder overall as we head into the rest of March. So beyond this time frame, just looks a tad cold, not crazy cold, but it is just a good reminder that we've been enjoying warm weather for so long, but it is still technically winter. And as we go into early spring, we'll have to keep an eye on things.
Yeah.
So.
Well, now when you say cold, because obviously we're seeing this slight roller coaster here. We had the roller coaster last week with the 70 degrees also. When you say cold, is that below average temperatures?
Yeah, it does look like it. And I would say that at least how the models look right now, it looks like we kind of even out a bit. We won't see these big temperature swings, but we even out on a cooler note.
Oh, okay.
At least how it looks. I just looked at some of the new model runs just a few minutes ago. So that's how it looks at this point. That could change, obviously. I don't want everyone to think that it's going to get super cold, because it doesn't look that way, but it does look like it's going to be trending cooler, which may be closer to our average or maybe slightly below that.
Okay. Well, quick side note, Chris Schultz, thank you again for commenting. He says, I hate daylight savings time. So
I know. I'm probably in
you
the
have a buddy in
minority
that.
on this, but I don't mind it. Obviously, it does take some getting used to, especially like Sunday is going to be tough because like, oh my gosh, where'd my day go? But
I know.
I think the benefits outweigh the. I don't know.
I do like the later, it is so hard to wake up when the sun isn't up, because you're like, I could just keep hitting snooze. So for like work purposes, yeah, I want the sun up. But like when you get home from work and you still have your day and dinner,
Yeah.
and you're just like, well, the sun's going to bed, I want to go to bed.
I know.
Yeah,
It's
that's
tough.
tough.
That's the toughest thing about in the wintertime. You get home from work and it's dark out, and
I just
you're
want
just
to plop on the couch, go to bed.
like, my day's done.
Yeah.
Need those happy lights.
I use my happy light every morning.
So do
every
I.
night.
Yeah.
I love it.
I like it.
All right. Well,
That's all I got for you. I won't go on any more rants about anything.
that's okay. I think that was a good rant. I think Chris, was able to relate to that. So there you go. But if you want to see any more rants, or if you...
It's going to be a weekly podcast.
We should do that.
That would be kind of funny.
Fun, yeah. Oh, I don't know what would come out of our mouths.
No,
So that could be
no,
dangerous.
no.
But for more professional advice and guidance on your first alert forecast, you can watch Colton coming up on Studio 10 today at 3 o'clock.
Yep, and actually Justin will be on Studio 10, but we will have updated look at your first look forecast on the app. We always post video updates in there, as well as some articles and things like that. So there will be a lot of interesting things that you can find in there, especially as we march our way into severe weather season. We will be seeing more active weather as we move into the spring season. So that's something that the app is perfect for. Make sure you download it. It is free in the Google Play and App Store, and you can actually find the radar in there too, which is very useful for severe weather as we head our way into the spring season.
Okay, sounds good. Well, thank you, Colton.
I'll let you take on over, Taylor.
Yes, we will do that. Sounds good. And while we are doing that, let me show you one more time our 90 minutes of news, and also first at 4 what is coming up today, so you can get a feel for everything that is going on. Of course, I talked about this to start off our little segment here. But of course, if you forgot, that is what you need to know coming up during First at 4 and our 90 minutes of news today. So in just a second, I will be showing what our other reporters have coming up as well. And we have Deanna Giles as well as Aaron Bowling sharing what they have coming up during our 90 minutes of news. So we are going to see, and that is still the First Alert weather app, but hey, download it for free off of Google Play and the Apple App Store for any more First Alert forecast updates. We have Deanna Giles coming up, News 10 at 6. We're going to see what she has to say. Deanna.
Hi, Taylor. Imagine buying potato chips, and instead of eating the contents that could harm you, they're actually healthy. MSU researchers have found a way to make potato chips healthier, starting in the beginning. I'm Deanna Giles, and I'll have that story on News 10 at 6. Back to you, Taylor.
All right, all you potato lovers, tune in News 10 at 6, and you will have a healthier treat to munch on. Just tune in and see what Deanna Giles has to say on that. And then coming up, News 10 at 6, we also have Aaron Bowling. Aaron.
Thanks, Taylor. Today I spoke with some local tax experts about how you can get your taxes done for free right here in Mid-Michigan. I'll have more on these programs on News 10 at 6. Back to you, Taylor.
All right, thank you, Aaron. And if you are like me and you just fear doing your taxes because you're afraid to commit tax fraud, or they stress you out because you're looking at all the forms and looking at all your W-2s or 1099s, and it's just freaking you out a little bit, well, let me put this up real quick. Maybe you're going through that, the stress of taxes, the stress of certain things happening in your life right now, or maybe you're going through some other things that have been in your life for quite some time and it's been weighing down on you. Know that you're not alone. There are resources out there for you. And all you have to do is scan that QR code that just popped up on your screen with your cell phone's camera, and it'll pull up a link. And if you click on that link, it'll bring you to our website, WILX.com, with a list of resources around Clinton, Ingham, Eaton, Ionia, Shiawassee, Jackson, Lenawee counties. I believe I might be forgetting one or two counties, so my apologies. But you will go scan that QR code, you will see what exactly I'm talking about, and seeing that list of resources, guiding you toward other resources like mental health care professionals. And finding a mental health care professional, taking that first step and just recognizing, having the awareness that, hey, you know, you are going through something. It's okay to feel your feelings no matter what you're feeling. And then trying to give yourself that freedom of letting that go. And you can do that by tuning into News 10 all year long, because with our You're Not Alone mental health series, we will be speaking with community members on their own journey so that you know you have the awareness that you're not alone. Other people are going through this too. I had some people talking about you know, wearing a mask. I was talking to some friends, they're like, you know, it can be exhausting to wear a mask sometimes, and people don't know what's going on, you know, in your personal life, because sometimes you have to compartmentalize the things that are going on in your life, and that can weigh you down if you don't have the time to process and think, and it can be a lot. So know that there are resources out there for you, and whether maybe you're like, hey, I don't need this right now, but maybe you will later. You know, life comes at you fast and throws all curveballs your way. So that's why it's great to just have this on your phone, even if you're not going through anything right now. Maybe you'll be fine, and then someone else who may need the resources, you can pass this along to them. Share that love and help improve their emotional well-being. So You're Not Alone Mental Health series, again, all year long, we'll be talking about those resources, community members' own mental health journeys with anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, stress, even addiction, and even bullying. So all of those factors, you know, we are human, we're not perfect, but at the same time, at the end of the day, we want to lift each other up and come together. This is how we can do that, looking at our neighbors, seeing how they're doing deep down inside, and finding them the resources that can improve them so we can all improve humanity together. So You're Not Alone Mental Health series, sorry for that rant. That's what you need to do if you're looking for those resources. Don't feel obligated, but know that there are resources available. And then I will give another live look outside. Again, was showing this earlier in the beginning of this little segment here, but a live look over I-496. You can take a live look at that. Seems like very dry out on the roadways. That sunshine seems like it's getting a little bit brighter as some of those clouds start clearing up as well. So very good news right there. And that is everything we have coming up today on News 10. You heard from Claudia Sella, you heard from Colton, and then you heard what we have coming up during first half 4 in our 90 minutes of news. So Studio 10 gets started here in just over half an hour, and then make sure to tune in then. Have a great Wednesday, everyone.